Всем привет, дорогие друзья! Добро пожаловать на канал ШосткаПлэй, и меня зовут Сергей. Мы сегодня продолжаем с вами проходить Willy Morgan and the Curse of Bone Town. Ну что ж, мы продолжаем. А в прошлый раз мы остановились то, что мы разгадали загадку комнаты 09. Можно сюда уйти.
I guess it leads outside, but right now I have other priorities.
Чуть быстрее умеешь ходить? Давайте поговорим. Доброе утро.
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning.
Доброе утро.
How was your night?
There were moments I thought I wouldn't survive. Then I saw a ray of light and realized that the worst was over.
These are just some of the thrills you can experience here at the Dead Man Inn.
What happened to Bone Town in the last few years? I remember when I used to come here that it was a nice little town.
I think it's just progress. The young prefer to go try their luck elsewhere, apart from a few exceptions. It's just down to us from the older generation to keep up the honor of Bone Town by welcoming the incoming tourists with love and professionalism.
I'd have to dispute that, actually. Is the public library still there?
Sure, boy. It's one of the crown jewels of Bone Town. At least it is according to what Margaret, our librarian, tells us. I'm simply reporting what's said because I personally never go to such places.
Strange. I would have bet the opposite. Could you tell me where it is?
Turn left at the main square, just outside the door. Boy, if you don't want to get lost, use this. It's an old Bone Town postcard, but it was used as a tourist map during the golden years. It could be of use to orient yourself and move around Bone Town.
Thank you.
Are you interested in something in particular?
Just to reminisce a little bit. My father used to take me there all the time. Thanks, and goodbye. Better leave the key here. I don't know if I'll want to avail myself of this service again tonight. There you go. Now I can leave.
Ты можешь как-то быстрее передвигаться. Downtown Liberty. А ну-ка, стоп. Интересно. Она нам что-то будет показывать? Отель, библиотека. Будет. Заходим. Заходим. Доброе утро.
Good morning.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Помочь? Что случилось с Боунтауном в последние
What
годы?
happened to Bone Town in the last few years?
The city has always held more allure, at the expense of the small villages, and Bone Town is no exception. All the young people left when they had the chance, leaving the town in its current sorry state. It seems you know our town well, although you're so young. Can I ask your name?
Of course. I'm Willy Morgan.
I'm Margaret. Margaret Teach. But for those who attend the library, I'm just Margaret. Once there was a Morgan here in Bone Town too. Then he left, seeking fortune, and he became famous. But he never stopped coming back to visit Bone Town. I don't think you know him.
You mean Henry Morgan by any chance?
You surprise me, and that doesn't happen often.
The point is, I know him very well. Henry was my father.
I'm sorry, kid, I didn't know.
Don't worry, it's been a while.
10 years ago, right?
How do you know that?
Kid, I'm the librarian. I basically remember everything that is put on paper, and Henry used to come to our library a lot.
Do you know anything about his disappearance?
Unfortunately, only what I've read about. One night he was here in Bone Town. The morning after, it's like he vanished into thin air. Not a clue, not a trace. No letters or anything that could have guided the search parties to a solution.
Вы знаете, над чем он работал в своем последнем исследовании?
Do you know what he was working on in his final research?
I don't know. He always read a lot, basically all the tomes you can find in here, and sometimes at his request I had to order books from other cities as well.
Вы не знаете, могли ли у него быть
Do you know if he had enemies, maybe?
Henry? Let's be serious. I think there were very few men as affable as him.
Thanks for the information.
Don't mention it. If I can be of any more help, just ask.
I need to consult one of your tomes.
It's always a pleasure when someone wants to benefit from the services offered by our library. What are you looking for?
Properties of concrete.
Oh, what a surprise! It's not among the more popular in Bonetown. I guess this is the second consultation in more than 10 years.
Doesn't it get the attention it deserves?
Here in Bonetown, people don't read a lot, especially a book like that. I could never have managed to face it either.
Where can I find it?
I guess it's somewhere on the upper floor. You should recognize it easily.
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Bonetown Library. If you need a specific book, you can ask me, Miss Teach, or just Margaret.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. This lock is peculiar, to say the least. I'm pretty sure that I'd need a special key if I wanted to open it. It's stuck under the huge number of books on the desk. I must find a way to free it. How? Should I remove everything on top of it? There's no time. And above all, I wouldn't know where to put all these books. It's a card for the Bonetown Library. The card belongs to Henry Morgan, my father. Let's see the property. What was he? Better go to the library to make some...
Thank you for visiting. If you need...
Thanks, I'll...
Так, а какое же у нас задание с вами?
This lock is peculiar, to say the least. I'm pretty... I have no time to fix other people's things, too. I'm not doing any research. It's not my priority. Better not. It's like seeing my... Even if I... I'm already here.
Так. Нам надо как-то убрать эту книгу. Ну как?
It seems to be a very old crate. It's the famous book, Properties of Concrete, the last book read by my father. On this desk, there are books of every kind, from how to build a cuckoo clock to anchovy fishing for newbies.
Так. Давайте мы тебя поинтересуемся.
What's that old crate upstairs?
It belonged to Charles Teach, a great-great-grandfather of mine. Many years ago, we opened it with the help of a locksmith, but it was empty. Then the key got lost again, and nobody has any interest in it anymore. Maybe the locksmith has a copy of it somewhere. I never feel like throwing it away. It's still a family heirloom after all.
What's that old crate?
It belonged to many, but I never...
Thanks.
Thank you for visiting. If you need a specific book...
Thanks, I'll keep...
Так. Слесарь. Слесарь. Где у нас может быть слесарь? Слесарь может у нас...
I don't think there are any books here. Even if it's battered, I think I can make out the word. It's not time to end.
Ага, я понял. Все-таки придется возвращаться нам наверх.
This lock is It's stuck under the huge number of books on the. I must find a way.
Ага, да уж. Давно я с таким не сталкивался.
I need to consult.
It's always a pleasure. What are you looking for?
Что вы ищете?
Properties of con.
Oh, what a surprise! I guess
Doesn't it get the.
here in Bone Town. I could never have.
Where can I find it?
I guess it's somewhere.
Thank you. What's
It belonged many years, but it and no, maybe I never.
Сама повторяю. Давай
It's
там.
always. What are you?
not very famous pirate songs by three.
Unfortunately, that's one of the most requested books. There's even a waiting list to consult it.
Из желающих с ней.
Grog and other delights.
It hasn't been available since 1998, when grog was declared a substance harmful to health, and the book was never reprinted again.
Grog, are you kidding?
It was a short-lived law, abolished immediately afterward to avoid a mass uprising.
Luckily,
Don't get me started. A cup of grog in the morning is like a panacea. But in case it happens again in the future, I have put aside a personal supply.
properties of concrete.
Oh, what is... I guess...
Doesn't it get
Here I could...
Where can
I guess...
Thank you.
It's all... What are you...
I don't recall the exact title.
I'm sorry, but without the title I can't help...
Thanks.
Thank you. If you...
Thanks. I have no time to fix up.
Так, может здесь среди стола есть этот?
How? Should I remove every? There's no time. And above.
Нет, среди стола тоже нет. Так,
What's that old
It belonged to Charles Teach. Many years ago, but it was empty. And nobody... Maybe the locksmith has a copy of it somewhere. I never feel like throwing it away. It's still a fan...
наследие, понятно.
Thank you for... If you...
Thanks.
А если мы вернемся обратно?
The innkeeper said the library is on the left, starting from. I better.
Давай с тобой поговорим.
Thanks.
Понятно. Все-таки это не то. Все-таки это не то.
I don't want to take anything from you. It's still material in the public. I don't need it. Better not. Even if I pick. I don't need them.
Мне не нужно. Хорошо.
There's a sign with the word museum, which rules out the possibility that it's a library. I'll go back there later.
Я понял. О, домкрат.
I don't know how, but I hope it might come in handy.
Надеюсь, это мне поможет. Отлично. Я теперь даже знаю, каким образом он нам поможет. Ха-ха.
At first glance, it appears to weigh over 100 kilos. Surely working out in the gym made me stronger, but I don't think it performed any miracles.
Так, уходим. Мы нашли то, что искали. Значит, мы сейчас освободим эту книжечку. Так, так, и вот так.
I don't think I should use it on the book.
Хорошо, давай на столе.
Let's try.
Попробуем.
It worked. Check out what we have here.
Стол, ниша.
Let's see what it is.
Посмотри, что там лежит. Так,
It's another letter from my father. It's dated July 22nd, 2008, earlier than the other one. There's also a piece of paper that seems more ancient, but I can't figure out what it is. Better take a look right now. If Dad did all this so that I'd find it, there must be something important.
Надеюсь, Вилли, именно ты читаешь это письмо, иначе все мои усилия были напрасны. Мои последние исследования подтвердили, что капитан Кид со своей командой нашел огромное сокровище. И не знаю, где они его спрятали, но они нарисовали карту и разделили ее на части между членами команды. Перед Канзи Кит спрятал свою часть карты в камере. Мне удалось найти целости и сохранности. Найти целостности и сохранности. Это означает, что всеми забытое сокровище до сих пор не найдено. Часть карты Кида ты найдешь вместе с письмом, но оно, конечно же, бесполезно без других частей. Согласно моему исследованию, остальные члены команды укрылись в Боунтауне в ожидании возвращения своего капитана. Проштудировал от корки до корки каждую книгу того времени, мне наконец удалось установить имена всех членов. Эдвард Дрейк, Крис Эвери, Рок Левер, Уолтер Флайт, Эдди Беллани, Том Релли, Джон Джорджин, Джарс Тич. Найди недостающиеся части карты и доберись до сокровища, пока это не сделал кто-то другой. Больше ничего сказать не могу. Времени мало, я чувствую, что за мной следят. Я не знаю, увидимся ли мы когда-нибудь. С любовью, твой папа Генри.
Now I understand what the piece of paper was that I found with the letter. Dad always performed great feats, but I never imagined he was looking for Kid's treasure. It has always been said that it was basically a legend. I don't remember the complete story exactly, but maybe the librarian can help me. And I have a list of names. Better start asking information of the townsfolk, without attracting too much attention. I don't need my father's old library card anymore. Even if someone found it, it would be useless. I have the letter and the piece of map belonging to my dad.
Я ошибаюсь, или вы знали, что вас зовут?
Am I wrong, or did you tell me your name is Margaret Teach?
That's correct.
Do you know a man named Charles Teach?
Your question surprises me. How do you know my great-great-grandfather?
I'm doing some research on the genealogy of Bonetown, and I stumbled upon the Teach family.
Yes, it's been several generations now since the Teaches settled in Bonetown.
What can you tell me about Charles Teach in particular?
He was the one who brought the name Teach here to Bonetown, but of his past, little is known. My great-grandma told me that he was a former fisherman with a knack for books. This library is a donation he made to the city of Bonetown just before he died. After he arrived here in Bonetown, he devoted himself exclusively to reading, and many of these books were bought directly by him. He had so many of them that he basically founded the town library, which then became the family business for the following generations, too.
And he didn't leave anything else apart from the books?
All he left is stored on the upper floor, but it's mostly junk. The real treasure was his books. There's also an old crate without a key, but it looks empty.
Do you by any chance know the story of Captain William Kidd?
Sure, it is mostly a legend. In the golden era of piracy, Kidd stood out for his endeavors, if you could call them that.
The endeavors of a pirate aren't exactly heroic most of the time.
Anyway, his ship, the Adventure Galley, was supposedly filled with treasures when it suddenly disappeared. A few years later, in 1701, Kidd was captured and executed, but his ship and the crew were never found.
What do you think happened?
What always happened at that time? Kidd and his crew squandered all the loot, and to cover their tracks, they sold or even burned the ship. After this story, Kidd became legendary.
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Bonetown Library. If you need a...
Thanks.
За нами опять слежка.
Very strange. I have the feeling I'm being watched. Better be careful. You never know what can happen in Bonetown.
Давайте сходим сюда. Следак, ты чё следишь?
Thanks.
Понятно, понятно. Сюда можем теперь? Можем. А это что у нас такое? Администрация. Это хорошо. Давайте зайдем. Стив. еще совсем. О, доброе утро, Стив.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Доброе утро.
I'm sorry,
Прости, мы
do
знакомы?
we know each other?
It's been a while,
Давно
hasn't
это
it,
было,
Uncle
правда,
Steve?
дядя Стив?
Uncle Steve.
Дядя Стив,
There was
да.
only one child that called me that.
Который меня так назвал.
It can't be.
Неужели?
Willy,
Вилли,
is that
это
really
правда
you?
ты?
Yes, Steve,
Да,
it's
Стив,
really
это
me,
правда я.
Willy
Вилли
Morgan.
Son, how are you?
Как ты? Извини, что
Sorry if I don't get
настроение.
up, but my back is
Света,
killing
но
me.
меня просто
Sitting here all day is bad for my health.
All good, Steve. Thank you.
Tell me, what brought you back to Bone Town? It's been years since the last time I saw you.
Я скучал по...
I've been missing Bone Town.
I can hardly believe it.
Верится с трудом.
Lately, nobody ever comes back to Bone Town.
For the anniversary of my dad's disappearance. It's been 10 years. I was thinking of swinging by the cemetery.
Already 10 years? Time seems to have stopped in Bone Town since then. I sought refuge in my job to forget. I don't see your mother. Does she know you're here?
I told her I was leaving. She's away on a business trip.
How is she? I tried many times to contact you in recent years, but she never answered.
It was very tough for her, too. She preferred to make a clean break from the past, concentrating on me and her job. Bone Town is a memory that still hurts a lot.
I understand.
How are things going here in Bone Town?
Not very well, I'd say. It's becoming harder and harder to run Bone Town. People leave, and the problems are constantly increasing.
Да, когда я сюда приехал, то с трудом смог припарковать свой велосипед. Ты, по-моему, не припарковал его, а вообще влетел куда-то.
Yes, when I got here, I had problems parking my bike.
Parking problems as well? That too must go on the list.
Это ты про негостеприимный прием в старом отеле?
You mean the lack of courtesy at the old inn?
Are you staying at the old inn? The owner seems to be grumpy and surly. But actually, all right, I'll try to talk to him at the first opportunity. I'll write it down among the many things to do. I'd let you stay here, but to deal with the city expenses, I left my old house. Now I sleep in that little room over there. It's the only way I've found to be able to run Bone Town as best as I can.
Have you ever thought of hiring someone to give you a hand?
Yes, but funds are limited, and nobody wanted to take on this responsibility.
I saw some construction work on the buildings.
That's one of the bigger problems in the city. It seems that our water resources are drying up. Some people say that upriver, certain companies have been doing excavations that caused the fracturing of some faults. But I launched an investigation. There's no correlation. So I'm trying to solve the problem by recovering rainwater. And at the moment, it seems to be working.
I hope so, for Bone Town. Do you remember what happened to my father?
It's always painful for me to talk about Henry. We grew up almost like brothers, before he decided to leave and become one of the most famous archaeologists in the world. Despite his work, he always found the time to come back here to the family, and to meet his old friends. Unfortunately, his disappearance is still shrouded in mystery. The night before that fateful day, we went out together. We said goodbye in front of the old inn, where he was staying. The next morning, I stopped by to say hello, but there was no trace of him. His room was intact. The innkeeper said he didn't see him going out. That's all I know. Since then, I've been racking my brain to understand what happened, but Henry seems to have vanished into thin air.
Just like Mom always tells me. Do you, by any chance, know what Dad was working on?
I wouldn't know. Whenever he'd come to Bone Town, he told us fantastic stories of the places he explored. We felt like we were there with him.
Dad was always an exceptional narrator. When he told me a story before bed, I couldn't sleep right away, but instead spent a good part of the night fantasizing.
He used to do the same thing with us here in Bone Town. Everyone was enthralled by him.
See you later.
Come back whenever you want. You'll always find me.
Thanks. Better ask for permission. I'd risk looking like a thief.
I'm sorry, I'd prefer you not touch it. There's some important notes and I don't want to lose them.
Sure. I don't think that ransacking the... Can I borrow a stamp?
Of course, as long as you use it responsibly. Even if they're dated back, they're the official stamps of Bone Town.
Thanks. I'll use them well.
Actually, when you're finished with your stuff, you can help me out with that stamp. I have a lot of paperwork to authenticate.
Gladly. See you later.
Come back whenever you want.
Thanks. I might need one. I'll take the more worn one. I don't think that... Thanks.
Что у нас тут? Аптека паб. Так, аптека или паб? Фармацевт. Ты хоть смотри. Доброе утро.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I was just browsing.
No problem. But please don't touch anything without my permission. I've arranged everything so that it will make my work easier.
What work?
I'm developing a recipe that will make me rich. I just have to find the final ingredients.
Can I have some candies?
Unfortunately, I have to say no. The ones you see in the shop are needed to complete the recipe I'm working on, as well as for my livelihood.
I noticed.
If you have some pocket change, there's a candy vending machine right outside the shop. You can take as much as you want. It's only 5 cents for a candy.
Thanks a lot. What are you working on exactly?
It's a recipe of my own concoction for a new, non-alcoholic drink. As soon as I find all the ingredients, I'll patent it. I've written everything I need on this piece of paper I found in the back room. There's still some ingredients missing to complete the recipe. Then I'm sure my life will take a turn, and I could say goodbye to Bone Town.
Can I help you somehow?
Let me think. Maybe there's something you could do. I need to go to the warehouse to get some things I couldn't find anywhere else in town. But I need a specific plant that grows here in these surroundings. It's a plant with white flowers that only grows in places exposed to the sun, but also with enough moisture.
No problem. I'll see if I can pick one up and bring it to you.
No. It's extremely delicate. Any contact with the acids in human skin could ruin its essence. You should use specific instruments to pick it up and carry it. If you're willing to give me a hand, I can provide you with all you need.
What would I get in return?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Tremendously epic. All right.
Very well. Help yourself to the container and the trowel near the door. Once you've identified the plant, use the trowel to put it in the container.
I figured as much.
Thanks. It will also take me a while to find what I need in the warehouse. We'll meet back here.
All right. What's that piece of paper?
I honestly don't know. I was going through the back room when the new recipe suddenly hit me. I grabbed the first piece of paper I came across to write down the ingredients.
Can I see it?
I'd rather you not. Our sector is very competitive. If I let you read the ingredients, you could steal my recipe. I can give it to you after the recipe is completed, when I'll be sure nobody will copy my work.
Okay. Goodbye.
When you find the plant with the white flowers, make sure to be as gentle as you can.
I'll do my best. I better be going now. The owner was clearly in a great hurry to leave.
За город нам. Это надо сюда.
I don't want to go back.
Нет, даже так. Ага. Маяк, компьютер фосфатом. Или меч. Класс. Так, не сюда. Мне все-таки сюда. Так, давайте сохранимся. Нет. Во. Я думал, там дальше нету дороги. кладбище. Склеп. Склеп. Надгробная плита. Корова сзади вон стоит. Так, хлам.
It doesn't seem healthy to touch these things.
В том, чтобы потрогать эти вещи.
I don't want to open a coffin.
Что тут еще? Больше ничего? Понял.
The entrance is locked, quite rightly. Restricted access will be reserved for... I don't want to take it too...
О, цветы.
These are the flowers the pharmacist was looking for. Better take them to him. But he expressly instructed me I should use something...
Так, я понял, где моя баночка.
I hope they grew spontaneously.
Сами по себе. Отлично, идемте теперь к фармацевту. Мы тут сделали все, что можно было пока что. Нам лучше пока фармацевта найти, чтобы забрать листочек. Кусочек карты.
It's a piece of the map belonging to Captain, but I can't do it.
8 кусочков надо. Хорошо. Хорошо. Но главное сейчас будет.
It's closed. The owner has put up a notice. I'll be right back, thanks. He actually told me he was going to the warehouse. I better try later.
На склад. Давайте сюда зайдем. О! Игрок. Игрок. Задрот. Привет.
Hi.
Hello.
Здравствуйте,
Welcome
добро
to the
пожаловать в
fabulous
серию
Bone
канала
Town New Pub.
Это своего рода паб?
Is this supposed to be a pub?
It is.
Да,
It's
это
a
полноценный
full-fledged
паб.
pub. You have the opportunity to select different drinks of your choice, and it's all automated.
At first sight, it looks more like a garage with vending machines.
Details. This is the future. People don't want to waste time with chatter. They want to get straight to the point. And I offer what they want. A valid alternative to the old and worn-down Bone Town premises.
Maybe you should have invested a bit more in the interior design, like moving some tires or getting rid of the tools.
I appeal to a different clientele. A bit in the style of Dine and Dash, but more like Drink and Dash.
Well, if that is your philosophy, I'd say you've done a great job.
I know. Thank you.
How is business going in Bone Town?
I only opened this business recently, but I'm very confident. The market research I did before opening in Bone Town is very accurate. So it's just a matter of time, and then I'm sure I'll find great satisfaction.
What kind of market research?
I was passing by Bone Town when I had a car problem. I asked for help from the town mechanic. After the hike to check out my stalled car, he asked me if by any chance I had something to drink. And so the light bulb went on in my head. Ding! If people here need takeaway drinks, I'll be here to serve them.
So you just relied on the opinion of a single person who happened to be thirsty.
Exactly. I know how to read the needs of a village. It's from little things that big projects grow.
I have some serious doubts, but I wish you luck.
Thanks, but luck doesn't have anything to do with it. Intuition and precise calculations are the foundations of every solid venture.
That's right, I agree. How do you handle your operation?
Ha! That's simple. The vending machines and the signs do their work. I just have to wait for the customers and invest the proceeds in my other passion, video games.
Oh, so you're a developer?
Ha! Please. I want to make a living. I play everything I can and help developers with my precise and sharp feedback.
Of course. Who's the town mechanic?
He's a very skilled local handyman. They still call him the blacksmith here. He can fix practically anything. At first I had some problems with the vending machines, and he took care of making them go again. Now he's tinkering with my car. Now that I've moved here, I don't need it anymore. Since I have no urgency to get it fixed, I told the blacksmith he could work on it during the slow times. Since then, I haven't seen him around anymore.
I understand. Goodbye.
Так, а чё я вышел? Что тут можно? 3D принтер.
It doesn't work like that. It's the same printer we use at school. Here on the side is a multi-format reader. It can read USB sticks, CDs, etc. And it's also a scanner to read data directly from images. Once all the info has been inserted into the reader, it'll be converted into data, which will be passed on to the printer. Only then will it be ready to begin operating. Useless. I already have all the energy. I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty.
Да хватит повторяться, выходи уже. Так, карта. А нам сюда. А нам сюда. Нам в эту дверь. Я вижу механику такой. Капот. Колеса.
Let's see if there's anyone here.
А, ну, ремонтировать машину. Ну, да. Давайте спички.
They could always come in
Они
handy.
сюда могут пригодиться. Так, спичечки, спичечки, спичечки. Лошадь.
Here, horsey.
Эй, лошадка.
It doesn't seem to be very cooperative. Maybe it needs some extra incentive.
Клешни.
Better take them with me. You never
Лучше
know.
с собой, мало ли что. Отлично. Это есть. Мистический молоток.
I don't know how, but it could be
Как-то
useful.
может мне пригодиться. Молотора. Ну, по форме молоток. Так, клочок бумаги.
I don't need it.
Мне это не нужно.
It must weigh at least a couple of quintals. I'd rather not.
Окей. Верстак.
Too many things. I can't take them all.
Вообще я не могу взять всё. Понятно.
Better not.
Цистерна.
It looks like here in Bonetown.
Так, вроде бы все. Уходим. Тележка.
What could I do with a cart with a couple of wheels missing? I'll think about it later. Maybe I could mount it on my next bicycle.
Оружейник. Да, много чего можно. Ну, бесполезно. Доброе утро.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, young man. Are you interested in something?
Мне нужно оружие, много оружия. А как давно работает ваш магазин?
How long has this shop been running?
Basically, ever since Bonetown existed. In every town there's a shop selling weapons, and Rogers is the ultimate shop in the city. We have weapons from all countries and all ages. Our centerpiece is that gun on display over there. It dates all the way back to the early 1700s. My grandpa found it hidden in his attic. It's in a perfect state of preservation.
I'd only like to take a look, thanks. I couldn't help but notice the gun on display.
You have a good eye, kid. It's the finest piece we have. It's an authentic weapon from the early 1700s. My grandpa found it in the attic, and since then it has always been on display here in our shop. We've done lots of research on it, but we were never able to establish provenance. We know that it dates back centuries, and it's a unique piece. It is unmatched in handling and finish. How it ended up in my grandpa's attic is currently a mystery. There's an inscription, J. Roger. We think it belonged to one of our forefathers. And in our family tree, there's nobody whose name started with a J. The first Roger to arrive here in Bonetown was Johann. But he was an Icelandic fisherman.
How much are you selling it for?
It's the only piece in the entire collection not for sale.
Why's that?
It's needed to give our shop a certain prestige. Without this, we would just be another common emporium selling weapons. Instead, many people pass through here because they know this relic is here. If I sold it, many customers wouldn't return.
I understand. There must be something for which you would be willing to part with that gun.
Absolutely not. There is no other weapon identical to this. You could try to find another identical one, but according to the research we did, it's a unique piece. And even if I found another one of the same value, I could never trade it. As I already told you, our patronage is based, at the end of the day, on this heirloom. That's why we installed a very sophisticated alarm system that goes off as soon as the weapon is removed.
How does your alarm system work?
It detects the presence, weight, and dimensions of the object. As soon as this is removed, it immediately goes off. The only chance to steal it would be to substitute the gun with another identical one. But being one of a kind, it's absolutely impossible. I'd say it's a foolproof system.
Understood. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The engraving says J. Roger. Let's try to see if there's something that might be useful to my research. Oops, I better put everything back as it was. Sorry, my mistake.
Careful, boy. I don't like to repeat myself, so I'll tell you only once. It's not wise taking something without permission in a shop that sells weapons.
Thanks for the advice. This alarm is a problem. I have to find a way to avoid activating it.
Я понял. Пошлите сюда. Гитара. О, есть еще сюда проходит. Давайте пойдем в парк развлечений. Вон, автомат списания.
There's something shiny on the roof. Maybe it's the only thing worth taking from this place. My arms are not long enough. I can't force it. It still looks very sturdy. Difficult task without even the original hammer. Let's try this one. No way. The weight doesn't move an inch. There must be another way to make the bell ring. I don't need to take it. Maybe now they will come in handy. Got it. It's not a chimney. It looks more like a roll with a series of engravings on it. I don't think I still need these bulky tongs. It's a roll used to make an instrument play automatically. In this case, I believe it's a piano. There's a signature and a date. April 24th, 1712. Walter Fly. If it really works, Fly would be a genius. Better not. Better not.
Понятно. Отсюда мы уходим. А ты куда идешь у нас? К старому маяку. Определенно безопасный мост. Так, что тут у нас? Ответ.
I don't really know how it works. There should be some instructions somewhere. I wouldn't know what to do with it. It can only be admired. I don't know how to make it work. It's not very nice to reverse the directions. Someone could get lost in this huge city. Let's try and hope it still works. there's a super promotion. With a single shot, you'll see yourself in your current form, in the guise of a pirate, and, brand new option, in the guise of a drunk pirate, all offered by the Lafitte Amusement Park. The things you do to attract customers. Woo! I better go out and recover the posters. I'm curious to admire the different versions of myself. Great, 3 posters of me. I think I'm a good-looking kid. I could stand in line waiting for someone to show up, or I could spend my time any other way. I'm quite sure it's a felony to remove public material, and I can't see why I should do that.
Так, тут только кладбище, да? Нет. Здесь нет. О! Привет.
Hello.
Hi, do you need something?
Вы, кажется, очень заняты.
He seems very busy.
Good boy. I can see you're very perceptive.
Let's say it's one of my numerous gifts, in addition to...
I'll stop you right there. I already said you're very perceptive, and you noticed that I'm very busy. What does that tell you?
That you need my help?
Absolutely. Here's what I need now. Could you please talk to me as little as possible, at least until I'm finished with this job?
Is it a long job?
You have no idea.
Goodbye. Maybe it could come in handy.
О! О! Фортепиано. Доброе утро, отец.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning,
Доброе
son.
утро, сын мой. Я восхищен красотой этой церкви.
I was admiring the beauty of this church.
You're right. It's a real piece of art. It dates back a few centuries and is all thanks to an ancestor of mine. After he traveled across the ocean, he settled here in Bone Town. Seeing the condition of the village, he wanted to build a place of comfort for wayward souls at all costs.
Как звали вашего?
What was the name of your ancestor?
Edward Drake, the first minister of the Bone Town community, upstanding guide of Bone Town's people, unblemished pastor of the community.
Yes, Father, I think I understand.
This calling has been handed down from one generation to another, right up to today.
Can you tell me anything more about Edward Drake?
My ancestor? First minister of the Bone Town community, upstanding guide of the Bone Town's people, unblemished pastor of the community.
Yes, that one.
Before coming here to Bone Town, it is said he was a skilled glassmaker. All the stained glass windows of the church are his handiwork, created by his powerful hand, used with the sacred fire of faith, designed with the ecstasy of supreme adoration.
Yes, really beautiful.
Yes, son. Every time I look at them, the fervor of the Drakes ignites within me once again.
How are things going for the Church of Bone Town?
Under my guidance, there's nothing to fear. Unfortunately, my flock has been reduced in number, but not in the strength of its faith. There are just a few troublemakers. A few kids who still don't have the patience to listen to my small 2-hour sermons, but nothing more.
How come Bone Town is in this condition?
Progress. Bone Town remained a pure city, like when my ancestor arrived and never adapted to progress, and the latest events surely didn't help.
What events?
There are weird stories going around. Some of the faithful said they've seen people, not locals, digging around the city. We warned the mayor, who went personally to the places in question, but he found them already abandoned. Rumors say these excavations caused a hydrogeological instability that's depleting Bone Town's water supply. Fortunately, the halls were filled in again to prevent any damage to our flourishing city tourism.
Что именно вы называете процветающим туризмом?
Are we talking about another city, perhaps?
Son, just the mere chance to visit our holy church should be good reason to come to Bone Town, our little St. Peter.
Maybe you're exaggerating a little.
Plus, we have a lot of other pleasant attractions. Here in Bone Town, we don't lack anything. Library, museum, amusement park, one of the most famous inns of the area.
I wish I knew that earlier. I'm staying at the Dead Man Inn.
That one, precisely. Everybody envies us for it.
Who exactly envies the Dead Man Inn?
Come again, son?
Nothing, Father. I was just reflecting on my luck. What's the reason, in your opinion, for these illegal excavations?
Rumors say that under Bone Town there are veins of precious materials, and that the excavations were tests conducted by companies without city approval. The mayor would never let the city be disfigured.
What materials might be in Bone Town subsoil?
Some fantasize about golden veins. Others say it's copper or tin. I think there is nothing at all, or they would have surely realized it when they built the city. There's been no findings of any precious materials, either today or in the past. In doubt, the mayor may put some signs around that forbid excavations in all areas adjoining the town.
Goodbye.
Правое окно.
I don't see why. If I broke it, I can't take...
Мне туда надо как-то пробраться. Ладно. Больно.
It won't work if you don't start the engine first. From what I see, I guess it still runs on gasoline or something similar.
Все еще работает.
It won't work. From what I see, I guess it still runs on gasoline. I can't. It needs gasoline to work.
It doesn't seem like a good idea. Unless it's a matter of life and death, my tools cannot be touched.
I get it.
Понятно. Машина.
I don't have my driver's license yet.
Водительский прав. Понятно. Ходим. Стоп. А куда дальше нужно? Дорога закрыта. Я понял. Я понял. Так, тут я был. Там нам надо пистолет забрать. Тут пусто. Дверь. Ага, тут закрыто, судя по всему, все еще.
It's closed. I'll be right back. Actually, I better...
Так, нам сюда. Нам сюда. Нам сюда. Давай пойдем сюда. Ресторатор. Доброе утро.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the one-eyed Jack of the Bellamy family.
Я видел меню снаружи. Какое у вас фирменное?
I glimpsed the menu outside the club. What's your specialty?
Chicken, kid. Delicious free-range chicken.
Only chicken?
Absolutely, kid. Chicken is our main ingredient. Healthy, genuine, and it's not fattening, so you can eat as much as you want. We Bellamys have invented more than 100 recipes to serve it with.
A diverse menu, then. How's business going?
Money is not important to the Bellamys. Our forefather, Eddie Bellamy, left us a little nest egg to pursue our family mission.
And what would that be?
Find the chosen one.
Are you a great-grandson of Eddie Bellamy?
Absolutely, kid. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was the best cook of the 7 seas. He was the one who founded the first one-eyed Jack. And since then, we've come a long way.
Do you mean that you've expanded all over the world?
Absolutely not. Bone Town has always been the one and only place where you can taste one of our delicacies.
Вы хотите сказать, что разнообразие новые оригинальные рецепты?
Do you mean that you've introduced new original recipes?
Oh, absolutely not. Nobody can improve Grandfather Eddie's recipes. A distant cousin tried to do that, starting his own company, the Mix something. But I haven't heard about it since, so I don't think he had our luck.
Surely not your luck, yeah. I don't get it, but it's okay anyway. What do you mean by chosen one?
The family legend says that Eddie Bellamy, progenitor of the Bellamys, learned every recipe on how to cook chicken. But his efforts in the kitchen seemed not to be appreciated by customers, who considered his recipes mere common chicken, bumpkins. So he created the only meal that was not chicken-based, the Bellamy cookie. The patrons seemed to be thrilled by the extraordinary innovation, but Eddie, given the indifference his cooking received before that, imposed one condition. Only the chosen one could taste the cookie from the Bellamy recipe. And since then, from generation to generation, the search has kept going.
Which cookie are we talking about?
The sacred cookie, contained in that glass case, built to keep its fragrance intact.
How long has it been in that case?
Since the day it was baked by Eddie Bellamy. And according to legend, it seems Eddie found a recipe for a pastry that could last for centuries without losing its fragrance.
Do you mean that in all these years, nobody was able to earn the right?
Absolutely not. That is the original cookie. Never has another one been baked.
How can you recognize the chosen one?
That'll be the only one who can pass the test.
What test?
The menu, kid. The menu. Only the worthy will listen to the entire menu without blinking an eye. And at that point, he'll have earned the cookie, along with honor and fame.
Very epic. Where does the test take place?
At the table. When you feel ready, take your seat, and we'll see if you might be the chosen one. But don't get your hopes up. We're extremely selective.
Thanks, and goodbye.
Thanks to you, and enjoy your stay in Bone Town.
Давайте сядем.
I see you want to prove it. When you're ready, call me.
Чувствую, мы не проедем.
I feel ready.
Very well, I'm coming. Let's begin the test. We'll soon know if you're the chosen one, or our menu includes mushroom chicken, algae chicken, egg chicken, spicy chicken, sweet corn chicken, pepper chicken, olive chicken, chicken and vinegar, blah blah, chicken, blah blah blah, free range, blah 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 blah, herb crusted, blah blah blah. Kid, hey kid, the test is over. I'm sorry. I thought you were different from the others. For now, you're not the chosen one.
And yet I was sure I'd be the one.
Да, ребятки, да. Да. Ну что, дорогие друзья, сохраняемся. Игра корректно сохраняем. Всем спасибо, кто смотрел. Подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки, комментируйте. И до встречи в следующей серии прохождения Вилли Моргана и тайны Боунтауна. Всем пока, всем спасибо.